We have to address it. Kanye West was seen last week at one of his fashion shows. Was it his fashion show or was it a fashion show?
It was his fashion show. Yeah.
His fashion
the
show.
Yeezy season. Yeah.
Okay. And he was sporting him along with another young lady next to him who works for him, I'm assuming. They were sporting White Lives Matter t-shirts.
Yeah. It was Candace Owens. It shouldn't work for him. It was Candace Owens.
That was Candace Owens?
Yes.
I did not even notice that was Candace Owens because I didn't even look at it.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that makes sense.
It makes sense, right?
Duh. Okay. So as you could imagine, maybe this was Ye's intent. The internet went into an uproar. People sharing their opinions. Most people are saying what we would expect. Bruh, how are you wearing a White Lives Matter shirt? What are you saying? And some people are just like, no big deal. But the seriousness of it came to the point where Kanye appeared on The Shop, the show, very popular show with Maverick Carter, Paul Rivera, LeBron James are the founders of that. And he was on an episode that was supposed to be airing soon. And last night, news came out that Mav was actually pulling the entire episode.
Smart man.
Because apparently Ye was on there talking some reckless joint. Now we're all speculating, was he talking that White Lives Matter joint? We would imagine if he was on there after, the shirt came out, they would ask him that because Mav is pretty straightforward with asking questions and candidly. But the show's pulled. And we all assume Kanye is going to go on some kind of a rant at any given minute now about the whole LeBron James movement and uninterrupted. What do you think about this whole thing in and of itself? Do you think Mav have the right? Obviously, they have the right, but do you think it was smart for them to pull Kanye or the entire episode, or do you think Kanye is just completely out of his mind right now?
I think Mav sat down, made a decision that affected both of them. Right? One is, if this man is going on your show and saying outlandish things, everyone's going to remember that it happened on your show. Right?
Backlash.
And two, knowing how Mav is, he probably sat down and said, you know what? Let's give Kanye some grace. He's not at the right space right now. This was only going to push everything further. Let's not do him like that. Let's save him from himself. So I think Mav sat down with the team and said, we can't release this. Now, like the Draymond situation, if this gets released, I'll be shocked because this is their content. They control everything.
Yeah.
But for us to know that, or to find out that the show was canceled, I can't even imagine what this man was saying, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think Mav, do you think he, going into this, he should have known better, given that Kanye's recent space with like attacking Diddy, attacking, all the other people that he's been attacking, producers that he's worked with and things like that. Do you think Mav, even having him on the show was a mistake and he realized that afterwards? Or
I think Mav is like us, where he falls under the guidance of what's the hot takes. What's the number one thing in the news right now? Kanye's the number one guy in the news. Mav is also a businessman, right? But I think he probably parlayed his relationship with Kanye and their relationship with Kanye to say, okay, we'll have him on the show and we'll control what he says, But then it gets to a point, if you got to edit the whole damn episode, why even put it out?
And Kanye would have been mad about that too if they edited it, because he feels like you're silencing him.
So he's just like us, where you're trying to build a business. This is the most controversial figure that we have out right now. Let's get him on the show. But what they say, all money ain't good money.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to piece it together. We know Kanye is big on artistry, and by artistry, just being able to do whatever the hell you want, say whatever the hell you want, move however the hell you want. But this whole White Lives Matter, people are trying to like put it into different perspectives. And is it that big of a deal? Because white lives do matter. Brother, if white lives never mattered, we would never have to say Black Lives Matter. That is why people say Black Lives Matter, because it seems like Black lives are the only ones that don't matter, especially, in recent history with the whole when the movement came up. And I saw an interesting thing that you tweeted. I forgot who it was that you were interacting with on Twitter, but someone said people are mistaking Black Lives Matter, like the actual statement of Black lives actually mattering with
In the
the actual
organization.
movement or organization
Yeah.
led by, you know, the leaders. I couldn't care less about the organization.
Facts.
People keep talking about the people who you know, the two women or something like that.
Stole money, yeah.
Yo, I don't even think I would recognize them if I saw them on the internet without people saying these are the Black Lives Matter, because I don't care. I just care about Black lives actually mattering, and that the fact that we need to say that for us to get some racial justice in America at some point.
But that goes to show you how nowadays the average person, we're just lazy, right? And I've had this conversation with a client because she mentioned that about everything that's going on with the organization. I said, when you Googled it, did you happen to know that there's a difference between the saying Black Lives Matter and the organization? Two different things. I don't know a single Black person who donated to a Black Lives Matter organization, right? So that's on you.
Right.
You have to do the research before you pump your money into anything. And it's unfortunate that they're using that moniker to raise money and not use it to help the people that it's supposed to be helping. But do your homework, do some research, and see what's actually going on instead of just painting everything as a brush. Like Kanye keeps on mentioning the organization, but he doesn't talk about the movement, you know? And going back to your other point, let me make something very clear. Nobody was saying all lives matter and blue lives matter and all these lives matter until we started saying Black Lives Matter.
Right.
That's a fact.